Hey folks, last time I was talking about my video game collection, but I figured I'd switch it up a little bit, talk about some other collections, so that way, we've got some other stuff to talk about. I got a lot of collections, I also want to talk about movies, collections, things, but I just don't want to just keep talking about the same thing over and over again. Switch it up a little bit. So today I'm going to talk about my comic book collection. I was a little bit different with my comic books when I was growing up. I typically, when I collected stuff, I wouldn't just collect a whole collection. I used to go by two factors. I used to go by what was really neat looking for a cover, or number ones. So I did that for each one, for a lot. So I didn't really have full collections, but as weird as that really trained me to collect weird, unique, unusual, strange comic books. And that's kind of the stuff that I've got here. And so I can show off some of. Now this isn't my entire collection. This is just tip of the iceberg. So I kind of have a handful of weird stuff like this. This, for example, Deathdealer by Glenn Danzig. And you'd think, because he was a goth rocker, it'd be super gothy, but it's not really gothy. It's really like just heavy metal, and it's pretty violent and heavy metal. But it's very metal. But this is definitely, and I'm not sure if this is a one-off or if this is a series. But, it says it's number 4, and they're all pretty thick, so I think they're all like this. And, let's see, what else do I have here? Creepy. I think this is a reboot of one of those anthology comics, and I love those anthology comic books. The Spawn Bible. Remember Spawn? That was such a thing, and apparently there's going to be that new Spawn movie coming out. Supposedly, if it ever does end up happening. What else do I have here? I got lots of stuff here that I could show. Well, this is something interesting. I think this was supposed to be what the new what the continuation of Star Wars was supposed to be. Now, it's a little bit different. Obviously, it's a little bit different. And it didn't end up turning out the same way, but I think it's got some of the similar elements. What else do we have here? Bloodshot. Now this one's pretty cool. I had one of the number ones of this because it had this really neat, shiny cover. There's going to be a new movie coming out pretty soon. I think, what is it? Jean-Claude Van Damme is starring in it, I think. But this was really cool. I picked this one up because it's got free card. I was a sucker for those kind of things. Always was. Picked this one up because it had a shiny cover, but not only a shiny cover, but it's also really cool. Metal Man, so weird. Now these guys need to be in a DC film because it's so different. Like, these guys are just so quirky. I think each one of them have different powers around metal. Now, I'm not your typical comic book kind of guy. I like the weird, off the beaten path kind of comics, the stranger kind of comics. Well, can't get much stranger than this. This is pretty cool. Yeah, I like the off the beaten path kind of comics, like the kind of comics that, Marvel's okay, DC's okay, but I prefer the stuff that's kind of weird. And speaking of weird, I got something that's really, weird. You know, I got something that's really weird. This one. Now this is something I got excited about. Now there were a whole bunch of these Disney Kingdoms lines comics. There was Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. There was Journey into Imagination, and then there was this one. Now, how this is different from the rest is that this was actually not based on an attraction that you can actually go to right now. This is based on an attraction that doesn't exist at Disney World. It's based on an attraction that is actually was defunct, and so it's actually got an introduction by Disney legend Rolly Crump, which the other ones don't have that. And it's got some weird, cool AR functionality, which I haven't used that. But what's neat is the Museum of the Weird. It was supposed to be a connection to the Haunted Mansion, and it was supposed to just have weird, strange, unique, odd things in there, and like that clock. That clock's weird. Just weird stuff. So it's like this adventure story that goes through the Museum of the Weird, and as you're going through, you get to see elements. You get to see elements of the Museum of the Weird that you wouldn't get a chance to see because that part of the park is not open, and it was just weird. Yeah, they were going to have this whole gallery. The chair that has a face in the Haunted Mansion that was originally going to be in the Museum of the Weird, but it's actually in here. And let's see if we can find. There's a lot of weird stuff in the Museum of the Weird, but you get to actually. This is the closest you would get to having a journey into that amusement park, but with a fun little Jack Sparrow-y kind of character. They're going on a big adventure, and they have to find items. A race against time. You know, it's always a race against time. Get the item before the guy gets the stuff before the thing. Get the thing before the thing before the thing. You know, but that's cool. I'm obsessed with the Museum of the Weird, and you know, you don't really see that too much. And I like the Figment series. The Figment series is really, really cool. Doctor Strange, yes. You can't go wrong with Doctor Strange. That's going to be an awesome movie when that comes out. What else do I want to do? Now, this isn't my full collection. I have a whole bunch more, but these are kind of like more like finds, some things I stumbled across. Kind of like an auxiliary collection. Dead of a fall from grace. Did he do it? Didn't he do it? We don't know. Well, we do, but he didn't. And then there's that one. To be honest, I'm more of a fan of like stuff like Drinky Crow, Filler Bunny. So it's like I like stuff that's weird, and that's the kind of stuff that holds my attention. The stuff that's off the beaten path. But there's some really good comics here. Now, in terms of weird, we can really expect some weird stuff coming really soon with the new Doctor Strange movie. That new Doctor Strange movie, The Multiverse of Madness, that should be really weird and cool. And supposedly Sam Raimi might be directing that, so we shall see. Not sure, but should be some good stuff. But that's just a little bit of my comic book collection. Maybe I'll go back to talking about my comic books again. I mean, my video games or comic books. Well, we'll see. What do you want to hear me talk about? Comic books, movies, video games? You pick. Because it's about you. We're hanging out. Well, it was great chatting with you. It was great to see you. It's been a while. Have yourself a drink before you leave. A nice soda. We have a sody pop in the fridge. Nice seeing you. Have a great time. Have a good one. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye-bye now.